over the last month or so, so many changes have happened in here. From building out the second story and creating this mezzanine, to Ricky somehow managing to configure a staircase which not only looks pretty smart, also isn't too steep, and then also framing out where our bathroom's gonna be. I, for one, cannot wait for my first shower in here, but at the moment the bathroom is all skirt and no knickers. And by that I mean it's looking good, but it's not practical. You know, we've got no water in or water out, electric in or waste out, the list goes on. So it's time we get some holes through these stone walls.
So we're starting off with the toilet waste pipe, and of course it had to fall exactly where we've put metal studs in last week, but that's easily removed and repositioned. This is probably going to be one of the more difficult ones we have to do because it's one of the bigger holes, and making a big hole through stone is not easy. We've then got to make good off the back of it. Plus, we've actually moved the position of where this was going to be. So previously the plan had been for the toilet to kind of tuck under the stairs, and on paper it looked good, but as soon as we started framing everything out, we realised it just space-wise and ease of building wise made more sense just to have it there next to the sink facing this way. Now on the interior, that change doesn't really have any impact. You just drill the hole in a different position. However, as soon as we get outside, it's definitely a bit more problematic. Because when we did our French drain, we put this concrete box in as a placeholder. So it basically meant that the drain could pass through. It would keep this area free of gravel. So when we came to put this waste pipe in, it would be unaffected by everything around it and we could still work on it. However, now we're moving the toilet. It's not going to be there. It's going to be somewhere around here. I think I'm just going to drill a hole through in the new position so we can definitively see where it is going to come out and then come up with a solution from there. But I think the solution for fixing this issue might be a good excuse to fix another problem that we found. Goggles. I'm not on the ball today at all. Right. Yeah. Right, let's go and try and find it. No. There it is. Okay, so we're right at ground level. We come out, so we're to there, basically.
Right, and that's to the middle of the pipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be like there. So it's not very far.
No, it's not much difference, is it?
Shame we didn't do it first time round.
Yeah, no, we should have stuck to our guns. Never mind.
So it's always a bit of a ball ache when you have to redo work, especially when it's a big job that you thought you'd done and put to bed. But unfortunately, today is one of those days because we're going to be moving the French drain. It might seem like we're going to extreme measures, doing all of this just because we've moved the toilet and the poo pipe. But really, that's not the reason that we're moving the French drain. It just happens to be a convenience, shall we call it. If we move it, it makes this job with the new pipe location much easier. You got your shovel ready?
No. Thankfully, we're not going to have to do it with shovels and brute force this time because it was brutal last time. It really was. But this time, happily, we have Mr. Tractor on hand. And Ricky's going to get his first go with the digger.
Looking forward to it.
I know you are. You've been clucking. So just trying to get this rope through because we need to prise up this box. But at the moment, the fabric and all the gravel's in the way.
Oh, I can just about see it. Come on, buddy.
One more grunt and you'll be through. That's not a grunt.
Go.
Oh, well done.
The grunt was all I needed.
Slow. Keep going. Keep going. Stop.
Yeah?
Yeah, you've got about that long.
Yeah.
It looks a pretty puny rope next to the size of the bucket. Have you got much confidence in this rope?
Not really, but it's literally all we've got, so we'll give it a go. If it doesn't work, we'll try something different. So, all you're going to be operating is this.
Okay.
Okay, and it's just you're going to be pulling it down.
Pulling it down, okay.
Get the feel for it. Pull it.
If I pull it, is something going to happen?
No. No, don't worry. But just... Okay. 4. They're just in small, like... You can go faster than that.
Just... It's kind of sharp. How broken is the ratchet strap? Have you still got like the...
We don't have it.
Oh.
Okay, well, I guess that's staying there then until I can get the digger in.
Okay.
I just thought it would be easier to get it out of the way first, but...
Yeah. Okay. This week we've partnered again with Wild. They make refillable, sustainable deodorants using natural ingredients like coconut oil and shea butter, which moisturise your underarm. And I just love how gentle it is on your skin and that they don't use any harsh chemicals. Plus, everything's vegan and cruelty-free, and I can confirm that they will keep you smelling fresh for 24 hours, even on a hot day. I've been using their products this past year and I'm especially excited because they've just launched their first ever roll-on deodorant. They come in these lovely reusable cases and I went for the limited edition Cat Kissin design. So I have actually got 2 deodorants on the go at the moment. This one I keep in my handbag and it is the wildflower scent, which is new and it smells outrageously good. In the roll-on deodorant I have the sea salt and cotton, which is just a really lovely light fresh scent. There are so many scents for you to choose from, and if you use their subscription service you can swap the scent at any time, so you get to try them all. Click our link in the description or scan the QR code and use code LIVING at checkout and you'll get 20% off all Wild products for a limited time.
I've just taken off the top layer of gravel that's sitting on top of the drain because I want to keep that top gravel separate because it's been contaminated with dirt, with weeds, with lime that's come off the walls from when we did the pointing, and I want to keep that separate from our clean gravel that's inside the drain. So now the fun can begin and I can start playing around with the backhoe on the tractor because I've not used it since it was demonstrated to me when it was dropped off. I had forgotten though just how narrow the drain is, and obviously I've got to contend with the fabric, so I think I'm going to have to put the skinnier bucket on to try and scrape this out. And I also realised this morning that we still haven't explained why we're doing this. I will get round to that, but right now I just want to start making some good progress on this, so we'll break that down in a bit. I've just loosened off these nuts, there's 4 of them, because I want to try and get the digger closer to the house. You can see here that if I bring this arm in on the angle, I can't actually dig out straight within the ditch. I want to go at that angle, not at that angle. So you've got these tracks on the digger where if you loosen those nuts, you should be able to move it closer over and get it parallel to the house, so then I can dig. Well, it's a little bit closer, but still not perfect. Anyway, I'll lock this off. We'll see how much we can get done with it on, because as you can probably tell, I'm desperate to not do this by hand. I think I'm gonna have to move this guy out the way and do this by hand, which really saddens me to say, but I think I can do it quicker. The issue isn't with the scooping. I think this probably takes about the same amount as it will do on my shovel. It's the back and forth on the arm. You know, realistically, I can just swivel it out with my hip movement and just chuck it across. It takes a bit of time to come up, go across, empty it out and come back. I forgot just how much gravel has gone into this thing, and it's a lot to take out. I really wish I could have used a digger because I'm absolutely soaked, but at least I'm storming through this. So at this point, I'm just digging out enough so I can get the pipe out. Also, I don't have to take all of it out. Some of it can stay in the hole. I just obviously need to get rid of the fabric as well. Let me just get out of the sun because I am cooking. And yeah, I can finally explain why we're redoing it. Oh, it's better. So I will try and keep this as short and sweet as possible, but there's a lot to explain, so bear with me. So we had a problem in here with damp, basically because the back side of the building in particular and one of the sides is under the ground level, and when it was raining, that ground was getting really saturated, the stone was absorbing it, and the wall on the inside was getting very damp. So the purpose of a French drain, whether it's right next to the building or whether it's anywhere else on the land, is effectively to take away water from an area and take it somewhere else. So ours runs out into this soak away box that we made. This box is about 8 meters away from the house, so all the water is taken very far away. Now, one of the most annoying things about having to redo this drain is that it works. We know it works because we fitted it in, I think it was February, so about 6 months ago if I remember rightly, and obviously we had a lot of rain since then, and whenever we had heavy downpours, water trickled out through that drain into that box. However, we noticed in a few places that we suspected it was getting wetter, but it was hard to tell because it was still cold. The walls weren't really drying out very quickly anyway. We didn't have heating in here or anything like that. Since then, we've done a bit more research and come to the conclusion that it definitely was getting wetter. And the reason for that is that we put the French drain right next to the wall. We dug out everything next to the wall down to the shallow foundation level, put the pipe kind of at foundation level with a view of water going down there and coming away. This is a really tried and tested method that lots of people do. However, one critical part that we missed, and with good reason, is putting some type of waterproof membrane up against the wall that then comes down, covers the foundation, so water physically can't touch the wall. Now that makes sense in lots of other buildings, and we opted out of putting that in because every conservation group that you look at or any conservation experienced architects say do not cover a stone wall. It's the same reason as to why it's a bad idea to put cement render over stone because it traps the moisture in. And like I say, at the time we opted to remove that part because we didn't want to trap moisture in the wall. Looking back on it now, it was a stupid thing to do, because if we've just got a load of gravel and it's right next to the wall, when it rains, water's going to run down really quickly. Yes, it's going to come back up and a load of it's going to be taken away, but we've also got all of that surface water right down to the foundation a lot quicker than it was before we dug that trench out. You know, it's a silly thing thinking about it now. It makes complete sense, and neither of us can fathom why we didn't realise that at the time. But, you know, first time we're doing it, and you kind of at times you're so in the thick of it with research and thinking about things and finding a solution that you can very easily not see the simple, obvious things at the time. We're now going to revert back to what we wanted to do originally, which is put a drain about 1 metre away from the building. And in theory, our path that we're going to have all the way around the building is going to be slightly tilted away from the building, so water should hit that, run off the surface to basically where the drain is, run down through the gravel, get taken away. So hopefully that space between the French drain and 1 metre to where the building is, that should stay relatively dry. Moisture should never really get to where the wall is. We had planned on waiting until kind of the wet autumn weather came just to test this theory out, but we're pretty confident now. And you know, now we've started building out in here and we want to start progressing. We want to start getting plumbing and electric in, getting plasterboard on these walls. The last thing we want to do is start trapping in moisture and cause damage. We'd rather know for sure that it's all good. And we had some really heavy rain the other day, and it kind of really made us think we should just be proactive about this and yeah, take action now before it's a problem. Hopefully that wasn't too waffly and it made sense to you all, but I'm now going to crack on getting the rest of the gravel out of the back so then I can get the pipe out tomorrow morning.
I'm just clearing out all the old stuff to get us ready for autumn. It was very overdue. Everything's looking a little bit crunchy and crusty. But in this first bed, I think we're going to go for peas and broccoli, always a winner, and a few other little bits and bobs. I'm a big fan of tender stem broccoli, but you don't really see it too often in the shops here. But this packet says that it'll grow in 40 days. To be honest, it's just quite nice to be out and doing something. I'm finding it quite difficult, quite frustrating, not being able to be as involved with the build as I'd like to be. But obviously I can't be in super dusty environments, and I've got to go steady with lifting anything that's too heavy. But it is hard because a lot of the time I feel physically capable, but I'm just trying to be responsible, you know, looking after precious cargo. And it is obviously important and for the greater good, but it ain't easy, not all of the time anyway. Plus I feel really harsh on Ricky because he is more than picking up all of the slack. So yeah, he really is a top banana.
Happy days, that's just saved me a job. My plan was initially to dig up this trench that's going down to the soakaway box down there to get the pipe out, but being an inexperienced excavator operator, I broke the pipe straight away, and as soon as I did that, it just made me think I could actually just leave all of this and not disturb it. It's only down at the end. The new drain's going to be set over to the right, so the channel's going to come in from here, so I could just leave all this undisturbed, which is good as well because the foundation for that pillar right there runs very close to where the French drain is, so now I can just leave it be. We had a package of ours delivered in error to a cafe a couple of villages away the other day, so I nipped out this morning to go and collect it because it's been there a few days now. And yeah, whilst I was there I thought I'll just get a coffee because the nice lady's held it there for us and she's taken it in. But she gave me the strongest coffee I've ever had in my life. I just wanted a little espresso, but she gave me this micro thing. I'm sure it's about 4 shots. I can feel the caffeine coursing through my veins. So I'm going to try and take advantage of that energy and get the pipe up in the drain, get all this fabric out, get out as much of the rest of this gravel as I can, and then we can start filling it back in and crack on with the new one. How does it feel to see all of our hard work undone?
Slightly soul destroying. I can't say anything because I've not done all this hard work as well. So what's next? You're just going to fill it all back in again?
Yeah, but this time can hopefully use the tractor and get it done quickly.
Thank goodness for that. It's just sat there tormenting you.
This little scamp. What are you after? What are you after? That's what you want. This is what you want. Yeah, for those of you concerned, as you can see, awkwardly, his wound has healed up nicely now. He had staples taken out the other day. Yeah, we also got his biopsy results, and he's got the all clear. It was a tumour, but it's benign, which is good news. What's it called? A histotoma?
Something like that. I don't know all the medical words.
Somebody else will know. So that's good news. Bad news is found another lump on his back hip, but the doctors don't seem to be concerned too much about that. We're just keeping an eye on it.
No, they just said it's because he's an old man. Well, getting there anyway, buddy, aren't you?
And just like that, it's almost like we never had a French drain there to start with and the work had never been done. It's just started lightly raining out of the blue, so that's going to do some good for getting that new soil to settle in. Do have to admit, it is a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, having to do all of this again. It's also quite hard just publicly admitting your mistakes, because I can almost guarantee some douchebag has already written a comment saying that I could have seen this was going to happen from the start, blah, 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 blah. Well, good for you, mate. But, you know, people make mistakes. I always find it really strange when people leave comments like that, because anybody who's ever learned anything does so by making mistakes. And Victoria and I always said we didn't want to be one of these channels where they just pretend like they get everything right first time and they do it really quickly, because it's just so unrealistic. We wanted to show everything. If we didn't know how to do something, we wanted to be upfront about it. And if we made a mistake, we wanted to show it, because, you know, we'll get comments from people saying, it's amazing what you're doing, I could never do it. And the reality is, you could. You know, we are just two very normal people who are just trying hard at something. We're learning as we go and making mistakes as we go. So far, we've not made too many mistakes. This is a big one, but it is what it is. It was necessary to do it, and won't be long and it'll be rectified. There's a lot of hand-eye coordination going on here with the controls of this backhoe. The more I'm doing though, you can kind of switch your mind off a little bit, and it is slowly becoming second nature. I'm not having to think about it too much. One issue that I wasn't expecting was hitting stones. That one's not too bad because it's just a bit of a edge, and if I need to, I can just go around it. But this right here, this big hump, that is one big rock. That's a little bit irritating because our jackhammer is broken at the moment. The what do you call it, the chuck maybe, the part where you insert the bit into, it kind of fell apart and a crucial spring came out of it. I can't remember what job we were doing, but we've struggled to find a replacement, so that means I'm going to have to try and break this down just using the SDS, which isn't ideal and is probably going to be slow. So yeah, not looking forward to that. But right now I'm just going to focus on getting the rest of this trench dug down to the soakaway box. That's not looking good. Hopefully I'm not going to get rained off.
Smooth operator. You're having fun?
Hang on.
Can't multitask yet.
Piece. It's way like rockier than I thought it was going to be.
What, the ride on the digger?
No, I mean much rockier in the trench.
Right, rocks in the ground.
I thought coming away from the building there would be less, but like up there's another massive one.
How are you getting on with the digger in general?
Good, although I don't know where you're meant to put your feet. Like, you end up just like going spread eagle. I feel like I'm just sitting backwards in a chair, like I should be in Magic Mike. Feels like you're playing with a toy, but yeah, apart from that, all good. I mean, if you consider how long it took to dig the last one by hand.
Yeah, when we realised that we were going to have to redo this job, it was an absolute kicker, but knowing that the digger was on our team this time, it's been an absolute game changer.
So it's not been the easiest of first jobs to get to grips with the digger, but we're not too far off now. The old one's been filled in, new one is very nearly there. So Yeah, feeling good. Onwards and upwards.
Or in this case, onwards and downwards.